G'day guys and welcome, my name's Zafini16 and I'm here today to bring you episode 11 of Gunning for Glory. Now, in the previous episode we did acquire Ramsey in the midfield and I'm pretty sure we got a loss and a win from memory. Now, being our first loss, it was a bit annoying, but we're going to continue on and hopefully we don't get too many more of those, but just going to make sure the fitness is right in the team, guys, and we'll jump straight into our first game. Jumping into this first game, guys, we come up against a nice 100 chem Italian side. Now, being the last time I versed an Italian side, I got our first loss. I was very fearful going into this one as I really didn't want to underestimate them again. And this game was very interesting. It didn't last for too long, as you'll see in the stats, in the highlights. It was only 3 or so minutes in and I actually picked up a nice goal with Ramsey, which was an absolute screamer from outside of the box. And obviously he thought because it was before the 5-minute mark he could quit without getting any kind of punishment on the DNF, but it gets us a win straight away. And I'm not going to leave you guys high and dry. I will put in a third game into this episode to make up for it. I'm not going to count that as one of them. But I'm not going to complain because it's a win, it's coins, and we only played 3 minutes as well, which is a bonus because it also gets our player fitness up. So I'm just going to make some rotations, try and get a better team in, and we'll go into our second game for the video. So I'll see you guys at the match screen. Jumping into our second game, guys, and we come up against another really nice 100 chem BPL side. This is the best side we've come up against by far, and I absolutely shat bricks when I saw this. This is an amazing side you'd expect to see up in Division 1, but I wasn't too worried because knowing that he's in Division 7 with that kind of team must mean that he's not that great a player. So let's hope we can get the win against him. So we're just going to jump into the game. I'm just in the parameters before we take off. Now, this guy was a very interesting player. I wasn't wrong in the thought of thinking that he was only good because of his team, and his defending was very poor. As you see, only a couple of minutes in and we do pick up a goal. It was a bit of a sweaty tramp in the end, but it's a goal nonetheless, and I'm not going to complain. I did struggle to take my opportunities in this game. As you'll see when we go into halftime and that, you can look at the stats and see that I was all over him. I had the ball constantly and I was creating opportunities. The guy could not defend to save his life, and when he does try to defend, he did what he just did there and gives us a easy penalty, which is almost a guaranteed goal because it's pretty easy to try and get it almost top corner every time. If not we do get it top corner every time, but I felt like I should have got a couple more goals against him. He wasn't playing great, but neither was I. He could attack half decent. He had a few actual alright chances, but as soon as it came to defence, he dived into stupid slide tackles and he just overcommitted to the ball far too much. And as we come into halftime, you'll see the stats. I've got 5 more shots than him. I've got 4% more possession, although it feels a lot different during the game. I just feel like I'm all over him. His pass accuracy is terrible. He just couldn't do anything. Not that I was going to complain because a nice easy win would have been great after the last episode where we had a couple of intense matches, but I just could not put him away to save my life. I was probably being a bit too fidgety in the box, trying to do too many skill moves, just overdoing a little too much because I always just move Oxlade-Chamberlain to the striker and play with him because I can't stand Danny Welbeck having no skill, and I'm a very skill-based player, which is something I will struggle with in this series as Arsenal only has 2 or 3 actual skill players. But as you can see in this highlight alone, it took me 2-3 shots before I finally got the goal, and the goal was a deflection, but it was enough to obviously aggravate this guy. He had had enough at this point, and pretty much as soon as we got back to the start from here where he could actually ball it, he did get a rage quit. So that is our second rage quit for the game. I'm not going to play a game to make up for that one because it was pretty far in, but we will be doing one more game to complete this episode. And I did make a bit of a mix-up editing now. I didn't actually show the end game stats, but it wasn't anything different from halftime really, except a couple more shots. But we're just going to go into the team squad menu, just make sure the fitness is alright, as you guys already know, and we'll jump straight into the next one. So I'll see you guys at the game screen. Heading into the last game of the episode, guys, we come up against this 100 chem BPL team. Very sweaty, very pacey up front, which is a real worry. The defence is definitely my biggest struggle for this team and something I really need to jump on fixing straight away. But hopefully we can still get the win over this guy. I set my parameters and jump into the game. Hopefully we can get another good result for this game and get 3 wins and win the title, which would give us enough coins to by quite a decent player to put into the side, but not too long into the game, I'm doing some absolutely disgusting defending and he puts one away only a couple of minutes in, which kind of puts the pressure on straight from the start, but at least it'll call for a good game. Fortunately for myself, not too long later into the game, I was just kind of mucking around with a bit of skill and dribbling and ball rolling, and I managed to weave my way through to the goalkeeper to put one back. He could defend alright sometimes, but then sometimes he was really derpish in the way he defended. I felt like I could have put a couple more goals past this guy, but we did what we could, and I probably made a couple of mistakes, as we all do it here and there. Didn't get as many goals as I'd like to, but we still got an alright result in the end. But we do end up going 2-1 down because of a silly keeper charge. I thought that providing he had the same game screen I had, he wouldn't have seen the keeper coming until it was too late, but he just managed to get the curve shot around the corner with Walcott, which is unfortunate for us and annoying considering we need this win to get into the title, to win it and get a heap of coins. But it was our own fault, no one to blame but myself, so just got to dig deep and get another couple of goals just to get us back in front. But that is just going to put us into half time, and the stats really didn't give justice to this game. Although it shows he looks pretty dominant in shots and that, he was taking shots from a very long range, and I felt like I had a very leaky defence, so I was over-committing to tackles and that and giving him opportunities he probably shouldn't have, and I wasn't taking my chances up forward or being able to get the shot off, and this is a perfect example of it. I managed to absolutely do him completely here, except the curve shot just happened to come off his hip and go out of bounds. It was just frustrating plays like that happened the whole game, and it was just getting me really mad, but we actually managed to break through with a nice curve shot from Ox there, which managed to put us 2-2. From this point onward, this game was a very intense game, probably one of the most enjoyable games I have played in this whole series. Now, I did dive into a tackle too much here, and the guy that I showed you before get a yellow card does happen to get a red card, so not only are we playing an intense game, we are playing it a man down. I did jump into the menu, as you'll see I attempted to after he kicks the ball out here, to try to bring on a defender to take its place. And I was really worried because I didn't have any of my good defenders on the bench to be able to bring them in to make sure we steal this game. But he does have a couple of shots in the last few minutes before we have this really nice break on goal here. I was very frustrated. I had a feeling leading up to the whole time that this was going to miss, but unfortunately the keeper just gets a hand to it. Brilliant save. Probably deserved a 2-2 draw because although I felt like I played better, I was very leaky in defence, and he took his opportunity, so I'm not going to take that away from him. He deserved the draw as well, but that is going to bring the last game for the episode to a halt. And unfortunately, we aren't going to get the result we want, which is a win to win the title, but we get a draw, which means we only need one more point from 3 games to get the title, which, based on our track record, should be pretty easy. But as you can see by the stats, in the end, it was very dominant his way, although I did not feel that in game, as I said. But there's nothing you can do about it. One of them annoying, frustrating games, but it's in the past. At least we didn't lose, and we're still that much closer to winning the title. So I'm just going to jump back to the transfer market and we'll buy our player for this episode. To get the title of this game, guys, was because I'd really like to buy Koscielny in defence rather than Mertesacker. I was procrastinating this so hard because I just can't stand Mertesacker's pace, although he is the best he's ever been in this game because pace isn't such a huge trait that plays a role in this game. He still is ridiculously slow and isn't going to keep up with them faster strikers like in the game we just played, but we managed to pick him up pretty cheap, and just a normal 7 contract one from memory. We couldn't pick up any of them with too much, but he slots into the team, and just as we get back to the team menu, I actually do put all the Arsenal players in to show you what a full team would look like, although I don't think that's going to happen for a few games yet because of fitness reasons and the fact that someone's always going to need a rest. But gives you an idea of what the team's starting to look like. We've only got a couple who are actually non-rares as well, so the team's starting to really take shape and look good. But that's going to complete our episode for today, guys. I want to thank you all for coming and watching, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next one. Enjoy your day, guys, and see you later.